Okay, Christina here to listen to some music. And today's music selection is Home at Last by Steely Dan. This is the second Steely Dan reaction on the channel so far. The first one was a few months ago to Reelin in the Ears. Awesome tune. Great band so far, just from one song. So what are we in store for this time? We'll find out. And what are we doing here exactly? What are we finding out? I am a professional classically trained musician, instrumentalist, vocalist, composer, and professor. So we talk about all different aspects of the music, the instrumentation, how it's composed, and how we relate to it. Why do we like it? Or maybe why do we not like it? But if this one is as good as the previous song that I heard from Steely Dan, I'm sure I'm going to like this one just fine. So without any further delay, let's listen. Okay. Also, Steely Dan formed as a band in the United States in 1971. This song came out in 1977. And we do have a poll on the channel for Steely Dan. And this one was a direct request. So the winners of that poll, I usually at least do the first and second places of those polls, will be coming up on the channel sometime soon. But for now, here we go. Okay, so this one's groovy. It's super laid back, kind of jazzy, a little bit blues, but I think more jazz. We're hearing a lot of those crunchy cluster jazz chords in the background. Really cool stuff. Interesting instrumentation setup though. I'm hearing a vibraphone. It's just cool. There's this coolness to it, the cool percussion. And so sparse. It was really sparse at the beginning. Really laid back. Not just dotted rhythms, but doubly dotted rhythms. Da-da, ba-da, da, ba, ba-da, where it's like the ba-da almost sits more on the next note than being related to the previous note. Love it. Heard the home at last thing. Still not sure, are we going or coming to home? What? Okay. We'll get there though. Let's continue. Actually, I'll back it up and hear this transition. It was pretty cool. Also enjoying all the brass too. It's really cool. Yes, okay, excellent guitar solo there. And then what was that funny instrument? The I was like, is that a funny trumpet? Or no, I think it was a keyboard. And it was adorable. I loved it. And how they were able to manipulate it. Like, I know some keyboards have this like the little slide function and you push the note and love it. That had to have been what that was. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but that's my best guess. Definitely not a symphonic instrument, at least not used that way in the traditional sense. So, but it was so cute. I don't care if that seems out of place. I stand by it. It was really cute. And then the coolness of the rest of it, including that noodly, notey guitar solo afterwards, kind of balances out the cuteness. There's sort of a sing-songy aspect to this. Like, it's happy and nostalgic, but then it kind of brings us back down into something a little heavier. But I like that pathway that we're traveling. And it sort of plays into whatever mood you happen to be in the moment. So it can be a little up or a little down. But regardless, this is a cool song. Okay, we're headed, I believe, into the last main section. I'm hearing the vocals come in, and it's a bigger chorus, and the vocals are great as well. All right, let's hear it on out. All right, yes, very cool vibe with this one. And a really great coda at the end. It sort of brought all of the players back in, and they really were all putting on a good show all at the same time to end, the song with the little fade out there. Very cool. I heard an uptick with the percussion. So it's not just the cymbals and hi-hats and things. It's like just so many intricacies in that percussion part, which is really interesting because it's supposed to be so laid back and sparse, but then that percussion really fills in all of the space that needs to be filled there. And then the noodly stuff with the guitar added in another sort of thickening layer. The chorus, so I'm remembering back to Reelin in the Years. Such a great song. So catchy. And one thing that stands out in my mind with that song is the energy with the percussion, dum dum da da dum dum da da dum dum, backed by the guitars, da 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 dum bum, and then some jazzy chords in there, and then the chorus, Reelin in the Years. It's so cool. So I definitely see all of those elements in this song, but it's like foggy, spread out. Like maybe we don't know where we're going. The beginning seemed a little lost almost. Like we're traveling this journey, we don't quite know where it is, where we going, how we get there. But then I think we found our footing as the song went on. And so it's talking about being able to come home at last. Did I hear something about maybe even being out on a boat? I'm picturing like being out on the water now and it's foggy and you're trying to get home. Yeah, I think this plays to that, if I'm correct in thinking all of that. Let's actually check out the lyrics. I know the superhighway, this bright familiar sun, who wrote that tired sea song, set on this peaceful shore. Still I remain tied to the mast. Yeah, I heard that. Could it be that I have found my home at last? Home at last. So long. Hey, thanks, my friend. I guess I'll try my luck again. Is this talking about relationships? Or, I don't know, it could be jobs, career moves, or literally just moving to a new place. So you try your hand at this place and see if you fit in, and if you don't, then you pick up and you try somewhere else. I don't know. Kind of looking for where you belong. And each time you're back out at sea, even though you might be tired of it, like they already wrote the old sea songs. Well, I can sort of see that. I feel like it almost was like on a boat with waves. So yeah, very interesting. Okay, let's hear the beginning again. Love it how it's just the piano and then the lower percussion. Boom, boom, boom. Not a bass part yet, but the lower bass percussion. I love these chords. Something like that. Yeah, there's some angst to the chords. See, it's like waves.
I know this superhighway, this bright familiar
Hear the vibraphone?
sun. I guess that I'm the lucky one.
Love it.
Who wrote that tired sea song?
Okay, and so right there is one of the more happy, nostalgic sounds. It's more of a major key, but then it comes back down into the minor key.
Said on this peaceful shore, you think you've heard this one before.
Now we're more serious.
Well, the danger on the rocks is surely past.
There's that chorus. Love it. Excellent interjection of that chord there. Very poignant.
Could it be?
And the little guitar, boop, burn, and then doo-doo. Love it. It's sort of like the rocky road of life, as an experience. It's not the ice cream, but it's kind of random still. I'm going to stick with that, how it's sparse. It's sort of random and still laid back. And there are lots of spaces in there, lots of moments where things can be interjected. And so I'm really liking how they're filling all of that in. Let's go back to the end a little bit. The coda section. Coda, just means sort of like the conclusion. And sometimes it'll have a whole mix of everything, a little bit of everything you've heard so far. All the different characters sort of come back for the final scene. Sounds. That's the return from what we just heard at the beginning. But it's a little thicker. You hear the brass chords. I love how late each beat is, just right there. Bum. It could be bum, 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 ba-dum. But instead it's bum, 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 ba-da. It almost drags the tempo down. Seemingly so. It's almost like a giant rubato, which just means you get to sort of play, you push and pull the tempo, but you don't ever give up too many of the beats. It all kind of equals the round number at the end. Very, very cool. Let's continue on. More interjections, conversations, and you hear the prominence of the percussion. I like the bass line there too. And so you hear the bass line in there, and it's also being doubled by the keyboard. So you hear in there with it. Really, really cool stuff. And then we have the brass come back in. You hear all the percussion. And then and all the characters are there. And the guitars are hanging in till the very last minute. You almost wish that fade out wouldn't happen yet and let them play a little bit. So maybe in a live performance, they would get to keep playing and ad-lib a little bit in there. Really neat. Okay, so that was Home at Last by Steely Dan. It did not disappoint. Super groovy, really laid back, and it still had all of the fingerprints that I got to know from their one other song that I know, Reelin in the Years. But I really did love that song. I really do like this song too. Will it become a favorite of mine, of theirs? It could. I don't know yet. It definitely is groovy enough that it's going straight on my playlist and I'm going to be listening to it for sure. I think there's just a slightly different vibe to it from Reelin in the Years. Reelin in the Years is more like of an anthem song, where this is more deep reflection. And that's totally okay, but it's just a different feel. So I'm going to have to listen and just see. Maybe it's just, this is the kind of song that you want to hear when you're in certain moods. And what that mood is going to be for me, I don't know yet. How I like a song right away, or how anyone likes a song right away, is not necessarily an indicator of how much they're going to like that song in the future. Because you might love a song right away and get really tired of it right away. Or you might have a sleeper hit where there's a song that you're like, oh, that's kind of neat. But then the more you listen to it, the more you dig it. Like you find yourself humming it. You find yourself with the earworm. Ugh, I hate that term. But you know, in your head later on, like throughout the day. And like I said, with an earworm, just go and listen to the song. It's your brain thinking of a song. Go and listen to it. Why not? Be like, thanks, brain. Thanks for the suggestion. And just listen to it. Sometimes that's what helps get rid of those. And so, will this one do that for me? I can picture it doing that. So, again, it's going on my playlist, and I'm going to take a listen. Thank you, all of you, for coming along with me on this first listen of the song. It was really cool. And there is more Steely Dan coming up on the channel. So, can't wait. And as always, just remember that you don't have to be perfect. Just be okay and keep listening.